Hey guys, I am Uncle Bernard, and welcome to my first criminology video. In a second, I'll just type this out. And the reason why I am doing criminology videos is because I want to get this information out there. Because when I'm at uni, they're always telling us to do stuff on YouTube, get this information that we learn out to the general public, and it's the subject I'm going to be doing about is going to be very what's the word? Sensitive. That's the word. So obviously, if you've been a victim of this, or if you are being a victim of this at the time of watching this video, get in touch with someone. I don't think I've actually put the numbers of the organisations in the PowerPoint. No, I haven't. But I've left links in the PowerPoint, so you can view it, and I may not be able to put them in the description, but obviously if I can, I will do. And before I start, I want to give some credit, because I didn't just make this PowerPoint on my own, as most of. Have you heard? Oh, I can't talk. As you've heard in my previous videos, I did do a presentation on this, and there was another person called Becky who helped me make the PowerPoint and got me a lot of information, helped me put the PowerPoint together. Oh my god, I can't talk. I've only just woken up, so my voice isn't fully warmed up. The thing I'm going to be doing about today is honour killings and domestic abuse, but the main thing I'm going to be talking about is honour killings. Obviously, I can't put the PowerPoint on in full screen because the editing software doesn't like it. I did try, but it comes up as a black screen. So sadly, you'll be seeing all this stuff here. So I apologise for that, but obviously, as long as you can get the information, and if the PowerPoint is laggy, it doesn't matter because I'll be reading it out for you guys. So that should all be fine, and I will be talking. I'll be expanding on the subjects if I can do that. So let's get into it. So what is domestic abuse? Domestic abuse is when a man or woman I forgot to turn. You can tell I didn't read through this before I did this. Tries to exert control onto someone in a physical, psychological, or financial way. There are other there are different ways as well other than those, but those three are the main three that you hear about in the news. Domestic abuse affects 1 in 4 women and 1 in 6 men, and it's becoming more common as people are becoming less scared of the law. This also leads to 2 women being murdered a week and 30 men being murdered a year. So as you can probably tell, obviously those numbers, they're not the most recent, they're the ones that I could find, but there probably are more. There are more recent numbers out there, but those are the ones I could find. So no matter what you see, those numbers are very, very large, especially for the men. A lot of people think that domestic abuse is between a man and a woman, the man being the person who's abusing the woman. So obviously that is a shocking statistic, but it is becoming more and more common each year. There are lots of reasons why domestic abuse is common. This could be because they were a victim of abuse when they were young, and so they feel that is the way they should behave. Also, as there are so many ways to be able to control someone, so they feel that is easy to do. Obviously today, especially financially, when you create a bank account, you don't have to be the person that owns the bank account. You could have your mum, your dad, your brother, anyone you know could control your bank account and your finances. So they could stop you from being able to access the account, and they could do loads of other things. So that needs to change, because obviously I think that it should be only a person that you trust implicitly can have control of your bank account. So I think you should have someone you're related to and then a friend. because then that should hopefully stop the abuse of that power. Let's move on. So what are honour killings? Now this is where it's going to start to get really, really in depth. So obviously, before I start reading this, if you are affected by this, please get in touch with someone, because it is a very, very, very hard thing to talk about, and it's something you don't really hear about in the news that often, but they are on the rise, as I'll talk about now. Honour killings are when someone is murdered because the family believes that they have brought great shame on the family, or they have broken the principles of the community or a religion. A reason for this could be that they have refused to enter an arranged marriage, or being in a relationship that the family disapproves of, and lots more. Honour killings are mostly affiliated with countries like Iraq and Pakistan, but in recent times, due to troubles in those countries, more people have been coming to the UK, America and other countries, and so the number of honour killings have been on the rise. Obviously with things such as ISIS, which is the most recent thing, obviously more people are moving to Europe, and so they are bringing their, I'm trying not to be offensive here, but they're having their principles and their sort of, say rules, yeah, something like that here, and so a number of honour killings are on the up because obviously they're, for example, let's say someone from a different religion, such as being a Muslim or something like that, and then they find someone who's a Christian. The Muslim family may think that that's a bad thing, and so may either kill the Christian or their son or daughter. So obviously stop that because they believe that they've brought shame on them, which obviously I don't understand it, but maybe I'm not supposed to really understand it. But honour killings and domestic abuse. The extent of honour killings vary widely because the family planned the crime, and once they have committed the crime, they may report it as an accident or suicide. Now you can tell how common honour killings are because the family actually plan the crime. You know, they may say, okay, we'll use acid attacks. They may just kill them like a gunshot or a stabbing, and then they may report it to the police as that person committed suicide, which is shocking. There is a lot of talk as to whether honour killings go into domestic abuse or if it is something different. Victims can be killed in the name of honour if they are a victim of another crime, because if someone was raped, she could be killed because the family believe they have brought dishonour to the family. Now again, this is what I don't really understand, because obviously rape is a very, very sensitive subject, and when someone is raped, the family believe that because of the rape, and they believe that she is impure. Now I'm using she because usually males aren't killed in the name of honour, because the family will believe that the males are the head of the family, and so they are the future. But the woman is sort of second, somewhere lower down. So they'll kill the woman but not the man, which again is shocking. But when a woman is raped, the family will believe that she is impure, in a sense. So that means that she is no longer part of the family, and so will kill her because she is impure, and because she has been dishonoured. Well, they have been dishonoured, more like. So it's difficult to understand, but I'm trying to make it, sort of easy to understand. Now, again, before I start reading this bit, the reason why I put this in is because this is just a few methods that are used, but some of them are disgusting. So what methods are used in honour killings? These are some of the methods: stoning, stabbing, beating, beheading, burning, hanging, throat slashing, acid attacks, shooting, and strangulation. So you can see how most of those aren't instantaneous, and I think a reason for that is, and again I'm hating talking about this, but this has to be talked about. Usually the family will not use instantaneous things because obviously they want to really hammer it home how dishonoured, how ashamed they are. Just shocking. Sometimes the attacks will be performed in a public place as to warn all the women of the consequences of breaking the community's principles or religious guidelines. So obviously when the family has been dishonoured, what they will do is they'll usually go out into the street or into a public place like a church or a mosque or anything like that, or a community centre, to show the community that they are not to be reckoned with and that they will do anything to show that they have not been dishonoured, which is, again, is a shocking thing, and it's not something I'll ever understand, and I don't think I'm meant to be able to understand it, but it shocks me how common this is. Other countries and honour killings. Now, some of these are not happening now, but I picked these ones because even though they're not happening in this way now, it shows how how they've gotten worse as time has gone on. In Pakistan, women who are suspected of a dishonourable action are hacked to pieces in full view of the community. Now, I'm not going to actually try to imagine that, but oh god. In India, people who are suspected of dishonourable actions are shot in private. So that one usually doesn't really happen now. Again, like I said on the other side, the acts are usually performed in a public view, to show that they've not been dishonoured. In Jordan, young male siblings are forced to kill damaged women because the sentence will be lighter than it would be for adults. So again, that shows how they really want to get away with it. They'll use their sons or cousins or just anyone who is in the family who is younger to kill the women, or to kill women, or the sister or daughter, someone like that, because they'll get a lighter sentence because they're younger. Regardless of country, the practice of honour killings is used to maintain family and societal power because an assault on a man's property is taken as an assault on his honour, which then undermines the system of patriarchy in these communities. Oh god, I really should have got a drink. So what that shows is that the male, like I said before, the male, oh god, I'm trying to, it might be offensive here, the men are the heads of the family, and then it goes, usually their sons, and then usually it just goes down like that, and usually one family will have control of the entire community, and then they'll believe that if someone damages, I did that in him like that. God, I'm trying to explain this. You can probably understand that though, yeah, a bit. You could probably understand what I was saying there. Now here we go. This is what we were saying before. Use of minors as perpetrators. Often young boys will be selected by the family to act as the killer, so that the killer may benefit from a more favourable legal outcome. Boys are often asked by the family to closely control and monitor the behaviour of their sisters or other females in their family, to ensure that they don't tarnish the honour and reputation of the family. If the boys refuse to carry out the murder, then they face serious repercussions from the family and the community for failing to perform their duty. Well, God, I can tell about this in a while. So that shows just how planned and how sadistic they can be. It sounds almost like a film, how the young boys will watch their sisters or anyone else to see what they're up to see if they're dating someone who the family disapproves of, if they're doing hobby or something like that, or anything that he deems and the family deems to be against their honour. And so what they'll then do is the boy will then come back, report, if I can use that word, to the family of what's happened, and then the family will plan, and then the boy will usually perform the act, so that then he'll get a lesser sentence, and then the family will believe that he has done his duty, and so the family has become honourable again. Usually, I've not heard of a boy being killed, but that's what you'd probably expect to happen. But I've not heard anything, but yeah, that's probably what will happen. Usually, if the boy refuses, they'll usually be killed, which I can't understand. History of honour killings. Now this is surprisingly interesting, but obviously sadistic. I'm not saying it's a good thing, I'm just saying it's interesting to read about. Honour killings originated from ancient Rome, and if the male family members did not take actions against female adulterers, which is cheating, they were actively prosecuted by the law, which again shows how honour killings were accepted in those times. It's surprising, but obviously in those times a lot of things were accepted in ancient Rome and other places during that time, you know. So because you can see how society's moved on. The Roman law gave complete control to the men, which is where obviously people still believe that the man is still the head of the family, not just in honour killings terms, but in general. A lot of people believe that males are the heads. I mean, look at the election just today. David Cameron is still the head, and obviously you've still got males leading other parties. Usually now, well, apart from Nicola Sturgeon, she's one of the exceptions, but it's not really common. Under those laws, the lives of their children and their wives were at the men's discretion, stating that women found guilty of adultery could be killed by their husbands. In China, fathers and husbands had the right to kill females deemed to have dishonoured them. So you can see how honour killings are still stagnated. They've not changed very much. It's still men kill women. It's not the other way around, which is surprising, but also it's still shocking. God, I really need to stop breathing. I'm getting dizzy. Honour killings is another form of domestic abuse. I've talked about this in an earlier slide, but I'll explain it again. People are very divided on this because some people think that honour killings are just another form of domestic abuse because they believe that honour has nothing to do with it, and that murder is murder. Which is understandable actually, because man, I didn't stop breathing. What was I going to say? I forgot. I forgot. Other people believe that honour killings are too serious to be counted as domestic abuse, and that it needs to be dealt with differently. Some people think that the police need to delegate a team to deal with the problem, others believe that it should be treated no different than domestic abuse. It's very difficult to differentiate, if I can get that word out. It's very difficult to differentiate between honour killings and domestic abuse because the lines are really blurred. Because usually, leading up to the actual killing, the family will become more and more hostile. They may, slowly distance themselves from the victim. And so that could be counted domestic abuse. While obviously the actual killing itself is done in the name of honour rather than just to kill the person. It's difficult to differentiate, but now the police response. The police struggle to respond to this type of crime because the police struggle to decide whether the crime was committed in the name of honour or if it was motivated by other means. The police also struggle to differentiate between whether it was done as a suicide or something like that, or whether the family actually did kill the person, because the family plan the crime, which means they'll have a lot of time to think about how they're going to deal with the repercussions of it when the police eventually arrive. Obviously it's got DNA, maybe witnesses, CCTV footage. Maybe the one in the family will decide that it's wrong. and obviously the family have got to really decide what they're going to do. There has been different organisations set up, such as the IWKRO, which is the Iranian and Kurdish Women's Rights Organisation, which was set up to help victims as they petition for more rights for women. The police also helped educate children about this type of crime, and they have also educated the police and other services to help identify victims of Hinor-based violence. I don't remember what I think Hinor, it must have been at some point. There we go. There are other organisations as well, such as I can think of Women's Aid, Shelter, and other organisations such as that, which gives safety to people who are victims of not just honour-based violence, but also just crimes in general. So if you are a victim of crime right now and you're watching this, please, especially if you're a victim of domestic abuse, it's not right. The perpetrator won't change. They won't. And you need to get out, phone the police, or even just get out and go to your nearest shelter, or just to your friends, speak out. Don't just keep it to yourself and get bottled up. Because the person won't change. They don't care about you. They don't. Because if they are beating you, and if they're doing other things to you that you don't want them to, you need to get out of that and get to safety. I can't say it enough. Because as a criminologist, I do about this stuff all the time, and I've read about this type of thing, and it's disgusting, it's despicable, it's horrible. And even though I've not been a victim of it myself, or a victim of a crime in general, it is horrible to be a victim, and it's going to carry on if you don't get out. You need to get the police and speak to the police, and they will deal with it, and I can promise you that. Anyway, I was going off topic there, but it's true. What I said is true. Media response to honour killings. Now this is just one story, and there are lots of other stories out of honour killings. So if you want to read up on it, just search for honour killings or victims who have spoken out, and you'll find lots of stories on it. The Guardian wrote that when we hear about a murder of a woman, we always view it in the eyes of the perpetrator, rather than looking at it through the eyes of the victim, which is quite true. They have said that when we have the word honour, they think, and this is not just the opinion of general, it's the opinion of the paper, they think that it has seeds of power to the perpetrator, and that it offends the women who are the victims and survived. Obviously, there are victims who of honour killings who survived. I don't want to do I don't want to say the name because obviously privacy and stuff like that. But you can search for it on the internet because that's where I looked it up. Let's move on. Now I can't play the video, but this is a video. But obviously, if you want to watch the video, copy that link and to YouTube. I'll leave it on for a few seconds so you can read it, but this video shows that the law in Iraq does not take this type of crime seriously. And I'm sorry about the font, by the way, but for some reason it's just not changed. Because it has become a societal norm, and so the law takes almost a blind eye to this type of crime. And also people who live in the community also turn a blind eye and don't do anything about it. Now, that is very true. If you watch that video, you'll see just how lax they are with this type of crime. More people are getting punished for it in Iraq, but it's not being reported, and so the crime is going unpunished. And when I say societal norm, you can probably guess what it means, but it means it's normal in Iraq and other countries as well. And it's not just happening in Iraq, it's happening all over the world. Because obviously it's not just limited. Because obviously there are more and more people coming from different countries. And so as our religious beliefs and communities become more diverse, religions and other things are becoming squashed together. And so, people's belief may change. And so they may believe that honour killings are normal and that they are good in a sense, which is wrong and it's not true. And we're coming to the end now. Statistics. Although honour killings are associated with Asian continents, this occurs all over the world. In 2010, the United Nations estimated that 5,000 women were the victims of honour killings each year. The women's advocacy groups say that 20,000 women were the victims of honour killings. That was in 2010. So if you can think, if that was in 2010, that's 5 years ago now. So that you can imagine how far that statistic has gone up. And I'm not going to work out how much it's gone up by, but you can probably guess. Conclusion. And there are other slides there, but those are just the bibliography, so we don't need to read that. Actually, what I'll do is I'll show the bibliography so you can look up on the stories that I found. Honour killings are a rising problem that so far is not taken as seriously as it needs to be, and so the crime is going unpunished, or a crime is not being classified as an honour killing. Also, people believe that honour killings are just in places like Iraq, but it is moving to places like America and Britain and other countries. I only specified America and Britain because that's where most of the stories that I found were from. Charities and organisations need to be set up to help victims of honour killings to ensure they are taken seriously and that they need to get the right help. Also, people in authorities and charity workers need to be educated to ensure that victims of this crime can get the right help and perpetrators can be prosecuted for the crime. I don't really have anything to say to that because it's just a conclusion, but if you guys have seen this, please do something about it. Set something up, like an organisation or something. Get the name out there. I've put it onto YouTube. I will put it out on Facebook as well, so that people can see it as well. I can put it out on Twitter, but if you want to do something like that, maybe write a comment on Twitter saying that you found this, please do. You need to get this out there, get this known, and stop it once and for all. Before I finish this, I'll show you the bibliography so that you can see the stories that I found. I'll leave it on for a few seconds. Right guys, that's about it. I am sorry if you've been affected by this, in any sort of way. If you've been a victim, I am sorry, but please, we need to get this story out there. We need to show people that we can stand up to this type of crime and other crimes. That we need to believe that the law that is set up to protect people is doing good. And if not, we need to fill the hole that has been left, and we need to set up organisations and stuff like that, and to ensure that victims and other people and perpetrators can be prosecuted for their crime, and the victims can get their right help. So again, guys, thank you so much for watching. I know it's a lot different than the videos I normally do, but obviously this is something that's very close to my heart. If you guys want to see more videos of this, or if you have a specific topic you want me to talk about and research and stuff like that, please leave it in the comments below, because I really want to do more videos like this. I will be doing another video today. I don't know what it will be. I think I said it was going to be a Honey Pop video, but I will be starting possibly an Assassin's Creed playthrough for the Xbox One, because now I've got a HD PVR that is working now. So yeah guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like it, comment on it, and subscribe. And as always guys, I will see you in the next video. Bye!